All right, hello everybody. We're live. I just wanted to do a quick announcement before I get started. A lot of people get confused when they see these videos once they're uploaded to YouTube after. So if you're watching this after, this is for you. Um, a lot of people are like, "Oh, I wish these weren't an hour long. Why do your forecasts have to be so long?" Well, it's because it's a live stream, and I do these for usually like an hour plus or 2 hours. That's usually how long I go for. So if you're not interested in videos that long, I do post forecasts that are only about 10 minutes long. So if that's more your style, you can go ahead and not watch the video. I don't really know if there's another solution really, just because of the format here with the live streaming and everything. I'd like to go through and answer all the questions, so it takes a lot of time to be able to interact with everybody. So we have our live subscription counter right here on the top right corner. Again, I like this because I get to see, how many subscribers I'm getting while I'm streaming. A lot of new subscribers that are watching the stream, so it's really fun to watch it literally grow before our eyes. Also, a lot of viewers find that exciting. So we're going to go ahead and get tropical tidbits ready because I always have this ready when I'm live streaming because a lot of people are going to ask questions that I will have to be able to show what the models are showing. So if you're new to my channel, feel free to subscribe. I do live streams like this and seasonal forecasts and all sorts of other weather-related videos if you're interested in that. In these live streams, I do kind of questions and answers type of thing about weather. So if you have any questions or anything you'd like to say, you can go ahead and do it. I'm going to go through the comments as soon as I get on there. All right, as I pull up the comments real quick. All right. Cool. Okay. So, Pudge Gaming, hello. How you doing? FE6, hello. I live in Dallas, Texas. What do you see for the winter months? I think slightly below average temperatures to average temperatures with average amount of snow. I think it'll be quite the average winter. Jalen TM, hello. How's it going? Derek Reeder, how much snow do you think, or do you there will be in Chambersburg, PA? Chambersburg, PA, I think above average snow, quite above average, and also below average temperatures as well. So is Magnolia, Texas, my hometown, going to see a wet and freezing pond or just warm and dry? Texas, like I said, it should be average. So I wonder if I can real quick pull this down enough to where you guys can see. There we go. Oh, that's going to be a lot cooler if we can see this because you'll be able to see the rate. I've had this open for like since this morning. See, I was at 8,300 this morning, and we've already grown this much just through the early portion of this day. I'm very appreciative. 10K is approaching fast. Yeah, for sure. At this rate, I think it would be like the day after tomorrow. So it's approaching that fast. What do you think for UK and Europe for winter 2018 and 2019? I think below average temperatures is possible. I don't really know about a lot about European weather though, so take it with a grain of salt. Just me be new. My weather for next week, rain. Welcome. Javen Chase. Congratulations on 8.5 subs. Thank you. Why am I hearing hot, warm, dry for New England all of a sudden? I thought El Nino was weakening, or weak, not strong. So, yeah, a lot of people definitely have a different idea of what this winter could be like, but you're just gonna have to trust that my forecast will be correct. A lot of people take too much. Their priority in the forecast is a lot lean towards models and not history and other things like the solar cycles and things like that that I take into account. They usually just look at what the models say and go purely based off of that. So the Jamstack actually was showing a colder winter, and that's when everybody thought it'd be a colder winter. And then all of a sudden it shows a warmer winter, and everybody is like, oh, it's going to be a warmer winter now. But I definitely don't lean towards believing in models just because of how much they flip flop. And they're usually wrong anyway. I'm from Tennessee, the Southeast. What kind of winter are we going to have? Southeast Tennessee, I think probably slightly above average snowfall with below average temperatures. I think so. I live in Atlanta. When will it start getting colder? I think right around the 15th or 20th of October. DIY solar homestead. Hello. How's it going, man? Some models showing a possible tropical system could form in Gulf of Mexico. Do you think it will form? I do. I do think that the Gulf is going to get active here very soon. Robin and VA. Petersburg to Richmond, VA always seems to be in a hole, and we miss nice big snowstorms. What hope do I have this season other than crossing my fingers? So the problem there typically is either snowstorms go to southeastern Virginia and it ends up being this like coastal blizzard, or they go very far inland. That's what it seems to be, and they just haven't come in between lately. That's what it seems like. But if you remember in the 2000s, it was a lot of snow for your area, and I mean, I know a meteorologist. DT, he moved to Richmond from I think Pennsylvania because it was snowing so much there for a while. So yeah, in the late 2000s, I think. How much snow will Knoxville, Tennessee get? I think above average. Moved to South Carolina from Western Colorado. When is it going to cool off here? Western Colorado already seeing low 40s in the morning. Yeah, so definitely different. You probably know that already, that South Carolina is a lot different and that you can't expect it to be like Western Colorado anymore. I do expect things will cool off a little bit here towards the later portion of October, though. So there's some hope. How about southeast New York? I think above average snowfall with chance of blizzards, actually. If you're new to the stream or if you're new to my channel, feel free to subscribe if you like live streams like this or weather-related videos. I do seasonal forecasts, monthly forecasts, and also lots of other forecasts. Also, feel free to ask any weather-related questions as I go through the comments and answer them. St. Louis area 2012, we had a bad winter, minus zeros. Yeah, and the crazy thing is 2012 wasn't a bad winter in the eastern United States. Those were pretty mild winters. Will this El Nino be strong? No, it won't. It's going to be a very, very weak El Nino. So a 10K winter is coming, but Texas will be spared, right? I don't know what you mean by that. Christopher, hello. How's it going, man? Sunny 2217. North Georgia, what kind of winter will we have? Very cold, I hope. I think colder than average with above average snowfall. At Direct Weather, what YouTube channels do you recommend for UK and Europe seasonal forecasts? Thanks, man. I actually don't know of any seasonal forecasters in Europe. I haven't obviously been searching for it because I don't live there, so it's not like a something I'm looking for. But I would definitely search it up and try to evaluate that yourself. That'd be very interesting. I just watched your previous videos, so should I expect colder and snowier winter for New York City? Yes, yes, you should. Pamela Gasper, hey, weather guy. Hello. How much snow do you think Knoxville, Tennessee get? And thank you. I think above average snowfall. Heard about tornadoes by me tomorrow. What severe think I will get tomorrow? I'm in northwest suburbs of Chicago. Let's take a closer look here. As we zoom in, we're going to try to look at a mesoscale model here. So for tomorrow, go ahead and use the name. I think I went over this about Wisconsin with somebody. You said tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow it looks like a lot of the severe storms are going to try to stay south of you in portions of Illinois, Indiana, Missouri, southern portions of Iowa. That's where the really bad storms look to set up. So you might be spared here. Let me look at the actual CAPE here, which is convective available potential energy, which directly correlates with severe weather events. Yeah. A lot of these pink areas are where the worst of the thunderstorms are going to set up. So look for the southern portions of Indiana and Illinois, and then also central portions of Missouri to have the best chance. That comes north a little bit, but it's a little too late as it's already around like 2 a.m. once the storms get there, it looks like. When will North Carolina see the chill? I think around the 15th of October. Hey, I'm new, Fox Legends #1. Hey man, welcome to the channel. I hope you find everything great. When will the cold hit Massachusetts? Right around the 15th of October. Do you think when there is nor'easters this year, there will be mix line? Where will the mix line be at for southern New England? Typically, it really depends storm to storm. We'll have to see. I plan on forecasting every snowstorm this year, at least for the eastern United States. So I hope you guys are looking forward to that. Let me know if that's not something you guys are interested in, obviously, but that's what I plan on doing. And doing live streams like this is when the model runs come out, which would be really exciting. I love doing that. But you would look for the line. Let's just hypothetically, just something I can more easily draw on. So a lot of times what we'll see, and you're probably used to this if you're from southern, if you're from southern New England, a lot of times, as I don't want that to be there, you'll notice a lot of times that the mix line is something like this. Right around there, and then a lot of Connecticut, Rhode Island, and basically south of Boston get blocked out. These areas all get snow, a lot of heavy snow in the White Mountains, Green Mountains. This is very typical with the nor'easter. But you also get a lot of storms, especially later in the season, where it tends to get a lot of snow in these areas, and then these areas stay kind of dry, where the heavy snow will stay in here. That's what I call southern New England special. And then, of course, sometimes you get it where it's just kind of widespread snow with the heavier of the snows in here. So it really depends. I think everybody is going to get a little bit for sure, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. Snow in the western Colorado today in High County, yeah. Direct weather. Do you think that Houston, Texas has a chance of getting snow this winter? Very doubtful. It's possible, but very doubtful. Yes, we all love DT in this area. Yeah. He's a funny guy. I happen to have been in contact with him a little bit over the years. He's a cool guy. I love how unprofessional he is sometimes. I love how he can just relax and conversate with people, and he's not really afraid to be wrong. He's very aggressive with his forecasts, and I respect that a lot. Not afraid to take a risk. Can you tell me more about the solar minimum and what it is about? Hold on, give me a minute. As I take a sip of my drink. Keep the comments rolling in, guys. Any weather-related comments as I go over this. So it really just depends what you mean, but I'll try to just explain it because it's a lot to get into. But basically, it would be where the solar cycle, it goes up and down, maximums and minimums. In the minimums, there's less sunspot activity, and there's a direct correlation between less sunspot activity and colder winters. That's the basics of it. We will see. Oh, you guys are talking about hockey. Last winter, we had 2 mixed precipitation in the Mississippi Gulf Coast. What is the chance for that this year? Better than most years. That's what I would say. What do you expect snow-wise for Charlotte, North Carolina? I think above average snowfall. The live chat is great. Thank you. Thank you. FYI, guys, he's using tropical tidbits. Yeah. What should I expect for this winter for Lebanon, PA? Above average snowfall with below average temperatures. Fingers crossed on snow in South Carolina, yeah. Will Houston get snow this winter? I'm pretty doubtful. I predict that the whole northern hemisphere will have a cold winter 2018-2019 because of the upcoming grand solar minimum. Correct me if I'm wrong. That is very unlikely. Even in solar minimum years, even in these very cold solar minimum years, we get a trough somewhere and a ridge somewhere. So if we look really quickly over the winter months with air temperature, so here's an example of a solar minimum year. By the way, the grand solar minimum isn't happening yet. The peak of it or the actual effects of it. Now we are heading towards it, but it isn't actually here yet. So we're really going into a solar minimum, just a solar minimum. A grand solar minimum, you can watch my video about those to get more information because I could ramble on for probably 30 minutes about that. But you'll notice here, even in a solar minimum year, we have an area of cold temperature and an area of warm temperature. It's just how it goes. You can name any winter, and there will be an area of warm. Here's another one, 2008 to 2009. And again, you will see that there's a warm area, a few warm areas. Also, 2009 to 2010, one of the coldest winters in recent history. You'll notice that there is warm areas here in the northeastern United States and northwestern United States, with the cold setting up in the central and eastern United States. So it really is always going to be a warm area, somebody seeing warmer temperatures. So it would be very, very unlikely for the whole United States to see below average temperatures. Here in Nebraska yesterday, 92. Today, 34. Crazy. That is crazy. If you guys are new to the live stream or new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment if you have any weather questions as I'm going through and answering them. I post seasonal forecasts and other sorts of forecasts, as well as I try to make daily live streams. What is the winter forecast for Sierra Nevada mountains? Will this be a good ski season? I think it'll be an average ski season. Please live stream forecast for nor'easters. I would love. I plan on doing that. So if you want to. Yes, forecast every eastern snowstorm. I think this is from like 10 minutes ago when I asked about that. How will the Southern Rockies be in terms of precip in the next several months? you're going to get above average precipitation, and then it's going to start to really slow down, I think, once we hit December. When will it snow in Charleston, West Virginia? I think early December is your best bet. How much snow for Massachusetts? I think a lot. Well above average. How about West Virginia? When will it get cold and snow? I think I just answered that. Same forecast for you guys as the Charleston one. So, what are the chances of a white Christmas in Lancaster, PA? I think a pretty moderate chance this year. I think a pretty good chance compared to other years. Farmer's Almanac highlighted March 20th, 23rd for a potent East Coast snowstorm. Any comments on that? I don't really believe in the Farmer's Almanac when they forecast that far out for like a specific 3-day event. So I don't really have any comments on that, but we'll have to wait and see. Why are the forecasters more interested in the Northeast weather and not in other regions? Because the Northeastern United States gets a little bit more interesting weather typically. And usually that's where like 99% of viewers are from anyway. Eastern United States at least. But I do answer all questions for all areas of weather. So, when do you think it'll be coldest? Where was that comment? Where do you think it'll be coldest for Houston this year? When do you think it'll be coldest for Houston this year? Sorry. Probably January. Will there be snow in the coastal plains of South Carolina? I doubt it, but it's possible. So what does the winter look like for the state of Virginia? In other words, when do you think the cold weather would move in and we get snow? Excuse me, snow. So it really just depends what you mean by cold air. I think I split up Virginia into 3 sections in yesterday's stream. I split it up by Western Virginia, Central Virginia, and Eastern Virginia. Eastern Virginia, your snow is going to arrive late December, early January. Central Virginia, you're going to get mid-December or late December snowfall. And then Western Virginia, you're going to get early or mid-December snowfall. Okay, sorry to disappoint. He just answered my question. Weather is fascinating. Yeah, it is. Hey, how are you? I'm pretty good. How are you? How much snow will North Carolina and South Virginia would see in all possibly this winter? I don't know what that question means. Just subscribe to your channel. Love the fact that you take the time to answer, folks. Thanks for the subscription, and it's my pleasure. I enjoy talking to people about the weather. It brings me great joy. How much snow will Philadelphia get this year? I think above average amounts. What do you think winter will be like in southern Appalachian, specifically northwest North Carolina? I think you guys will have above average snowfall for sure. Is this stream delayed? I'm answering questions delayed because they're coming in faster than I'm answering them, or they were at one point at least. But it's only delayed by, I'll see how far it is behind if I play it right now. If I move my mouse right now, see how long it takes. Okay, so it's 8 seconds behind. So it's not delayed too much. Do you watch MBGC Combo? He has very informative videos about the El Nino that may happen. Yeah, I'm familiar with him. I really enjoy when I see younger guys get into weather. That's where I started too. I was about 13 years old when I got into YouTube and trying to make forecasts. So it's been a long process. So I always respect that. Obviously, he has a lot to learn, probably, but he will. And if he's very passionate about it, it'll take him places for sure. What are the expected snowfall amounts for PA, New Jersey this winter? Below or above? Above average snowfall. When could it snow in Dallas? I don't really know. I think maybe January. Is the temperature still going to flip for New Jersey halfway through the month? Yes. Yes, they will. If we go into it, I was actually looking today. The models look a little bit more confident that will happen at some point. So confidence is rising for the ensemble models. You see, from at least from the 15th till the 20th, it looks like the Eastern United States will have a trough. According to the ensemble models, which is your most reliable source this far out. We winter in South Texas. What type of winter will we have? I think it should be a pretty average winter. What about White Christmas for New York City? I think it's possible this year. I would love to see that happen. Could you imagine? That'd be beautiful. What about the Midwest for snow? I think you guys are pretty close. Depends where you're at, though, for sure, because that's a pretty broad area. It's 81 here in Philadelphia today. Yeah, looking at this ensemble model, you can see those paint colors. That's where it's 12 to 16 degrees Celsius above average. So that's super warm. But like I've been calling for about a week now, right about the 15th, really you see that trough start to move on the 11th, slowly trek its way over to the East Coast. But by the 15th, it arrives, and it's just persistent cold, where it's going to be like 6 degrees below average in the heart of it, Celsius. So it'll be pretty below average there. Eastern Maine. If you're asking for winter, I think you guys are going to have a lot of snow, like 2014 to 2015, or similar to what you guys had last year. I think you guys had above average snowfall last year too. Well, the first snow happened in Massachusetts. I think that Massachusetts will likely see its first snow probably December, probably late November or early December, something like that. It really just depends where you're at, obviously. Weather is the reason for the season, yeah. How active is the winter battle zone likely to be in comparison with recent years? I think above average, if I understood that question correctly. If you're asking how many storms are going to go through there and how active it'll be in general, I think, yeah, above average. And that's what 2014 to 2015 was like, if I remember correctly. Winter in South Texas this winter, right on the border of Mexico. Do you think we will be below average? Uh, Probably not temperatures, but I think you guys will get a lot of precipitation. How much snow will Concord, North Carolina, will see for this winter? I think above average amounts. How about winter in northeastern part of Minnesota? Northeastern Minnesota. I think it'll be very, very cold. You might even get a little bit below average amount of snow and precipitation just because of the heart of the cold being right over you, but we'll have to wait and see. But very cold. Snowfall in Chicago this winter, I think it could be average. Boston, Massachusetts will have below average temperatures and above average snowfall. Well above average snowfall, like 2014 to 2015. That's the year you guys had all those blizzards. That year was crazy. What is the winter in Arizona going to look like? Hmm. Probably above average temperatures with average precipitation. If you're new to the live stream or new to the channel, feel free to subscribe, by the way. I do live streams like this daily, and I also make seasonal and monthly forecasts, as well as other forecasts for storms across our country. Also, feel free to leave a comment if you have any questions or statements as I'm going through the comments and answering them on this live stream. Welcome to the channel, guys. I'm really passionate about weather and I'm learning a lot. My dream is to go onto the Weather Channel. It's a good dream, man. That's what my old dream was. Then I decided I wanted to make my own Weather Channel. That's my new dream. LOL, I remember your past videos and your friend. Was that when I used to do live streams with Jacob Thome? Is that what you're talking about? Weather Hub TV. Hi, Direct Weather. Been a while. Been a while. Yeah, man. I haven't seen you in a few streams. Latex Dreams. Nor'easters? Question mark. If you're asking if there will be nor'easters, the answer is yes. I do think so. White Christmas for Chicago, also a possibility. What are the odds of a white Christmas for Rhode Island? I would say about 30 or 40% chance, which is good. We had a sort of white Christmas last year in New Jersey. In New York, we had like 1 or 2 inches. Hey, anything counts, right? God bless you all from Texas. Thank you, Donna. Do you think New Jersey can have snow in late November? I think that it would be quite crazy, but it's certainly possible, like Ramsey area maybe. What do you think about the West and the Sierra snowpack? We are still in a drought here. Yeah, I think the drought, as you'll have average precipitation, will get a bit of relief. So that's the good news. The best way to flip flop the pattern is play the temp anomalies in negative format or reverse color. That's a good point. It's a good point. I think you're able to do that on this if you want to. When you're doing this. Yeah, if you do reverse color bar. Or I think is it this? Yeah, if you do reverse color bar, it'll be like red and yellow for below average temperatures and blue for above average temperatures. It's really trippy. Is New Jersey getting a lot of snow this year? Yes. You got my attention about the winter battle zone. Sorry for the conversation. Thank you. Yikes. Don't really know what you meant by that. I've been sending your videos to my mail list and reposting them on my blogs and forum. Thanks, man. Stephen White. I don't want mild winter like 2012 or 2011. Yeah, me either. I don't think anybody does. I gave up all hope for autumn since each autumn has been abnormally warm for several years in a row. I live in New Jersey. I miss when autumn was crisp and cold. Yeah, but you have had a lot of those strung together, it feels like, for sure. Landon Gamer. Okay, yeah. Yay. I don't know what that was a response to. I forget. I think the solar minimum is making the seasons irregular. Well, not really. I don't think so. This is a quite typical uh, fall. It's not too crazy. Feels crazy for some of us that are in the extreme areas, but there's always somewhere where that happens, and we just happen to be in it. Why does the East Coast get more extreme weather than the West Coast? Because less precipitation hits the West Coast, and it's colder temperatures with less variations. I've noticed temperatures been going a little down. Is this a sign of a cold front? Well, probably just a sign of the year getting later. And even if it's above average, it's still, cooling every day, where you're getting your average is going down by a degree every other day or something like that. So that's probably what's happening. But things are about to get colder. How about Western New York? I think above average snowfall. How about winter in East Tennessee? I think above average snowfall with below average temperatures. When can Florida get its first cold front? It can happen anytime after the 15th, I think. Complete repeat of 2012, 10 to 2011. Yeah, that winter was really good in December. There was a blizzard on the East Coast. I don't know if you guys remember. That one was wild. Take a sip of my drink real quick. Mild winter, don't want. Yeah. First frost in early October, spectacular autumn foliage throughout October, first snow flurries in early or mid-November. I have fond memories of colder and crisp autumn in years past. Well, it will turn around eventually. The only downfall is that cold falls usually correlate with warm winters, so there's a big sacrifice there. Just sub, keep up the good work. Thank you, Big Dog Bill. In New Jersey, 2014, 2015, we had a blizzard on the week of Halloween and was like 20 inches. Is that possible? LOL. Very, very doubtful. Yeah, I think. Did he live in Raleigh, North Carolina? Yes, that is. I'm gonna do actually a stream with him. Think we want to do it around early November. He's gonna be coming out with a winter forecast soon, and he wants to discuss winter and stuff in live stream. So, yeah, I'll definitely give him a big shout out once he makes his channel or videos or whatever. I think it's possible in central and northern PA and upstate New York to get a snow as early as late October. Temps are trending down, I think you meant to say. Will West Virginia have a bad winter? Yes. How about southern Manitoba in Canada? I honestly don't know where that is. British Columbia. If that is British Columbia, yeah, you're in for a big time winter. But always, I mean, let's be real. I asked the question about the winter battle zone versus previous years. You weren't sure if you answered it correctly. You did. Yikes was for the activeness of it. Okay, thank you for clarifying. I apologize for the confusion there. Do you think we will have a strong El Nino or a Mordecai El Nino this year? First off, those aren't even opposites of each other, but I think that we'll have a weak El Nino that is a Mordecai El Nino. Mordecai just means that the warmer temperatures are off the coast of Ecuador. Live in India. What is it going to be here? Oh, Indiana. I thought you said India. I don't even know. Indiana, it's going to be brutally cold with average snowfall. But I don't know about India. In New Jersey, we had snowstorm in 2014 in November before Thanksgiving. I think that at least for end of autumn and beginning of the winter, nor'easters will track more inland because of all the warm waters in Atlantic. Hmm. Yeah, I guess that's possible. They'll certainly be stronger with the warm waters in the Atlantic, that's for sure. Lately, we have seen little snow or ice in December for east central North Carolina. Will we see that likely this year? I wouldn't say likely, no. It's possible, though. Always possible. Lately, we have seen little. Oh, wait, the same one. Northern New Jersey gets hit by ice storms in winter. Yeah. Will West Virginia have a blizzard this year? It's always possible. Can't really say for sure. Are you ready for tropical storm in Florida Panhandle around the 12th of this month? Hmm. Let me see about that. Tropical storm, Panhandle. I mean, book it if it's going to happen, but you think this is it? That looks like it hit Tampa, though. Oh, the V3. I think the Gulf is going to get really active here soon, guys, so look out for that. Northeast last winter got pounded. Yeah, definitely. The temperatures weren't that far below normal. That's the crazy thing. Ice storms are not what I want. I want very cold temperatures and snowstorms with dry, powdery snow. I pray for another 2013 to 2014 or 2014 to 2015 winter and better. LOL. I sound so desperate. Those were two very good winners. Not gonna lie. 2014 to 2015, North Carolina got that like special snowstorm where it was just like 3 to 4 inches, and it was just North Carolina. That was awesome. What do you think for Central VA? We are always on the dividing line between snow and rain. I think a little bit of the same. I mean, you're gonna have below average temperatures with above average snow, but it'll always be kind of mixed systems possible. Will Central Arkansas see any snow this year? It's possible. What's his channel name? Just search up Jacob Thome. You might find it. I don't know though. I live in northern Michigan. Most forecasters agree that it is one of the hardest states to predict weather for. What is your take on that? I think forecasters usually think that every state has really hard to predict weather. It's usually true. I think West Coast areas are the easiest to predict. Yeah, I mean Michigan's probably really tough with the lakes and everything, so I'd have to agree there. I hope we don't get October snowstorm like 2011. That was bad. I don't think so. I don't think we will. The 2017 to 2018 winter was awful. Mild temps in January and February. A place like in New Jersey hit 83 in late February. That's summer weather. Um, that winter was good for some areas and bad for some areas. Like I live in Eastern Virginia, and I averaged 6 inches, and I got over 20 inches that winter. So some areas did really well, and New England did really well too. When will West Virginia see first snow? Probably November, maybe early December. What kind of winter will Omaha, Nebraska see? A pretty average winter, I think. Will the deserts of North Africa see snow? I mean, can't really put an answer on that. I don't really know about North African uh, climate averages. It's not my expertise, that's for sure. Will Northeast North Dakota have a brutal winter? Yes. Which ENSO pattern is most conductive for big snowstorms in the South? Uh, Southwest or Southeast? That's the big question. But if you're talking about Southeast, I would say a neutral ENSO or a weak El Nino ENSO. Those are the two that would lead to that the most. Southwestern, I would say a weak La Nina. What do you think about skiing in the West? It should be about average. 2014, 2015 winter. Boston got 107 inches of snow for the season. Do you think it's possible to happen again? I don't think that'll ever happen again, but this year looks like that year. So if it is possible ever, I guess now is the time. I don't think he can realistically predict how many things will happen. Yeah, it's true. Hi from West Virginia. Hello. How's it going? If the Gulf gets active soon, that will be humid and hot coming up to Georgia, possibly. What do you think about bad weather like hurricanes for Tampa, Florida this year? I think there's always that good chance. I can't really say if it will or won't happen at this point because hurricanes are so unpredictable. 2013 to 2014 and 2014 to 2015 winners were certainly better than the 2011 to 2012 and 2012 to 2013 winners, but even they were nothing like the winners I grew up with. When did you grow up? That's the question. What kinds of amounts of snowfall and what time of winter can Central Illinois going through drought conditions right now? Central Illinois, you're gonna have above average, or you're gonna have average snowfall and below average temperatures. That's all I can say. What about Heat Island, Southwest Jersey, Philly area? I'm hoping for lots of snow. Above average snowfall and below average temperatures, I'll say. If you're new to the live stream, feel free to subscribe. I do live streams like this, and I also do seasonal forecasts, monthly forecasts, and other sorts of forecasts. So I would love to have you as a subscriber. Also, feel free to ask any weather-related questions as I go through and answer all of them. Is it possible to know when, if we will see a similar winter to 2009, 2010 one? It's just, there's a lot of things telling me that it won't be like that winter. There's a lot of things that looked a lot better that winter. So it really just depends. Um, 2017, 2018 winter was a crazy one. We saw snow in December, January, and March, then an oddly mild February with a mini ice storm in the beginning. Yeah, that's interesting. What is your favorite winter since you have been in weather? That's a tough one. Probably I'd have to go with 2014 to 2015. 2013 to 2014 or 2014 to 2015. Those are really good. And also last winter was really good too. So what was the cause of the recent 5-year drought in California? I think mostly the PDO. Being in a positive phase has really brought warm, dry conditions to the Southwest and Western United States for that matter. Um, let's see here. What is going to be happening with the deep trough moving through next week, dropping the snow? Is it going to move east? It is going to move east and be weaker, so it won't be dropping snow anymore, but it's going to bring a crisp cool down for the east for sure. Exceptions, warm winters back then were flukes. Now they've become new norm. Yeah, it's all about the PDO phase and all these sorts of oscillations. Are you in the east or in the west, David? That's the question. I'm originally from Pittsburgh and I'm 66. We used to get snow as early as Halloween. Now, according to my sister, it won't snow until well past Thanksgiving. Wow. When will Charlotte see the first snow? Hmm. Probably mid-January. Um, what is your most nailed forecast? Are you saying like what forecast did I do the best? Hmm. Let me think. I remember I forecasted back-to-back cold and snowy winters uh, in 2013 to 2014 and 2014 to 2015, and I nailed both of those. So I would say that probably. I hate mild winters, period. Yeah, me too. I hate mild winters like 2011 and 2007. Yep. Can you show us the temperatures for most of October? Yeah, on this model. So you see here's the fourth. See a little bit of a cold spell come in for the Northeast tomorrow uh, through the 7th, maybe. Then the warm up comes back. Warm's going to try to stay in the east, though. Around the 11th, the trough starts to move, and by the 15th, now this model has this southeast ridge lingering a little bit onto the 16th instead of the 15th. But then when that cold comes, oh boy, does it show up. These deep purples, very, very cold conditions through the 20th, and then you see the next trough on its way. There's a little bit of a warm up, probably 1 or 2 day warm up. So it's really going to be a work in progress. Though this model isn't very proven, looking at the normal GFS, uh, it shows a lot better. The trough staying southeast ridge. Uh, you'll really get your best bet with the ensemble model this far out though. Likes to keep the cold temperatures lingering, with probably reoccurring trough dipping in again with 1 or 2 day warm ups in between with mild or average temperatures. Will the southeast cool down anytime soon? It is still like 85 to 90 degrees here. I think I just answered that. Use the MJO in making your longer range forecast. Yes, yes, I do. I use almost every oscillation that I find to be useful. I use them a lot differently than most people do, though. Do you think that the grand solar minimum is being overhyped by YouTubers such as Adept 2030 and Oppenheimer Ranch Project? Yes, I think that the grand solar minimum is being very overhyped to get views from people. I think that's really what it is. They really just want to show these, like, oh, there's going to be an ice age, this, that, just to get a ton of views and get people worried. Because getting people scared is the best way to get views, and it's really just it's wrong on a lot of levels, in my opinion. Maybe they're right, but yeah, I just don't think it'll be that way. Mm, I usually don't like to mention my hometown, but I will say that I live in a small town of Somerset County. What did you think about winter of 2016, 2017? I don't really remember that one. I feel like that one was pretty snowy though. I get a lot of those years mixed up, like in between, because I took like a, I think that was the one year I didn't like pay attention to weather a lot. Like I was busy with other things, and I really just took a break for a year. I'm really just now getting back into it, big time. So, um, snow or bust for Maryland. I always either want a snowy winter or mild winters. I hate the winters that are just cold but not too much snow. I think it'll be pretty snowy. Do you think the Southeast is going to receive more snow than last year? I don't think more. I think it could be similar. I think the Southeast got a pretty good amount of snow last year. What's looking like as far as snow in Western PA? I'm from Pittsburgh. I love that area, by the way. Shout out to you guys over there. My family comes from Uniontown, Pennsylvania, if you know where that is. So, shout out to you guys. I think that this you'll have below average temperatures and average snowfall to above average snowfall. Actually, yeah, above average snowfall. Sorry. Same, but I just want a solid winter, either several storms. Da, 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 da. Me too. 2016, 2017 was kind of iffy. What do you think of winter of 2012 to 2013? That was my first winter that I liked weather, so it kind of has a sweet spot in my heart, but I don't think it was a good winter looking back. That was the first year where I was like predicting for myself how much snow I would get in a snowstorm and stuff. So that was kind of like the early days for me. How does NAO look this winter? I can't really predict that this far out. How about Minneapolis? It should be frigidly cold comparatively to normal, um, with average snowfall. I remember December 2015 was miserably warm. Christmas Eve was in the 70s. It only sort of cooled down to the 60s on Christmas Day itself. Needless to say, I had no Christmas spirit in me. Yeah, I think I remember that. I think it was like 80 where I live. So, um, as I'm reading through the comments, I apologize for the silence, guys. Do you have your own script and system to calculate weather, or is it all offhand and in your head? It depends. Like in a format like this, where I'm just answering questions, I'm just going off the top of my head, just like answering stuff. But I definitely have like all sorts of it's a work in progress because I change my formula a lot. Like usually once a year, I'll like improvise or change a few things, just things that I feel like went wrong or didn't work. So I'm still perfecting the whole system, but I do have kind of a calculation to it. Yes. Um, My friend that likes weather has made her own script that runs on her PC to calculate weather patterns. See, I don't have all that. I don't do all that. How cold will West Virginia be this winter? It'll be below average temperatures. Uh, do you think North Carolina and VA will see 40s and 30s for lows once the cold front comes? No, I don't think quite yet. Um, I think that I think that troughs will be more centered, more west than last year because the warm waters in Pacific are more west. Yeah, it really just depends. So I think that our main differences here as we look at our warm temperatures here, I think that your best bet is that these areas are probably going to continue to warm up and these areas are going to continue to cool, which will in turn give us that classic positive PDO horseshoe. This is what you're looking for, a structure kind of like that. Um, and really, what this leads to is troughing in this area. Now, this is going to go a bit inverted here, probably something like this, and really head up the coast. So there's a lot of confused signals here. Um, like obviously with the current sea surface temperatures, it's just not a winter pattern. It just winter would be really weird if the sea surface temperatures were like this. It's still trying to figure itself out, but you could expect a trough around here. Also, the weird thing is these cooler temperatures. That's gonna confuse the system a lot. That's gonna be really weird. Also, these above average temperatures. Uh, so right now we're getting that southeast ridge from these. These are really influencing that, but I'm really tempted to say that the trough will mostly affect these areas. This will be the heart of the trough, and then it'll come right up the coast. I think it'll be a lot closer to the coast this year, yes, because I know a lot of storms from out the sea. I live in southeast North Carolina, Fayetteville. We have been experiencing real legit snowfalls since 2014, multiple inches over 24 hours. Can you predict a similar trend? Yes. Um, if no snow is involved, oh. Remember 2012 had hot summer and Sandy hit my New Jersey. Um, looking for questions. You guys are having a really good discussion in there, so I'm trying to find all the questions. Is it possible to say a general prediction for when upstate New York could see its first flurry or snow? I don't need specific, just general. Um, yeah, I mean it's approaching for a lot of the Tug Hill areas, especially. You're getting very close, very very close. Temps are trending down, and by the end of the month, looking like low 40s and upper 30s for the highs. Where are you at? Mihi of you, or however you say that. Over 8,600 subs now. Explanation mark. CC, thank you for pointing that out. What do you think, when will the PDO shift negative, like to 10, 11? We're still in a positive PDO phase cycle, because that's actually an oscillation that works on a cycle. So it can end anywhere from this year up until 10 years from now, because they usually last 10 to 30 years, the cycles. So we're 20 years into a warm cycle, I believe. Yeah, 20 years into a warm cycle. So it could end anywhere from now till 10 years from now. And then it will be in a cold cycle for 10 to 30 years again. Obviously, 10 to 11 was a oddity, but there is like the cycle isn't like completely definitive. Like there will be cold PDO in positive PDO phases, vice versa. Who's your favorite meteorologist? I don't really have one. I know a lot of them though. So I know a guy, James Rinaldi. Uh, he's taught me, just like listening to what he says on Facebook groups. I've learned so much just listening to what he types out. So probably he's my favorite. He's not like a public meteorologist. He's just in Facebook groups, but he knows so much. Hey, what's up? Do you remember me from yesterday? Michael M. Yes, I do. Hmm. Tampa's gonna have slightly below average temperatures this winter. Richard Talcott. The PDO goes cold in 10 years along with solar minimum. It goes negative anywhere from now to 10 years from now, and that usually leads to warmer winters in the eastern United States and colder winters in the western United States. That's why we've had a lot of warmer winters in the western United States over the last 20 years. Well, central California get extreme cold. If it's an area that usually does, then yes. But you're gonna have above average temperatures this year, so I can't say for certain. It is too early to ask about the summers. Summers are a lot harder to predict than winters, as far as temperature anomalies go. So those we usually do a lot closer to the actual season. I'll probably start talking about summer probably in April, the earliest. Next week, maybe until Friday, highs are up in the mid 70s for me. Is that normal to get some very warm spells? With this time of year, heard it's called Indian summer. Yeah, it's pretty typical. It happens. Yeah, summers are harder to predict because the temperatures usually aren't like they're usually more different in certain areas. Like usually in winter, you can split the temperature in half, the country in half. Like one half will have below average temperatures and one half will have above. Whereas summer, it tends to be all over the place, and it can be flipped from bottom to top, left to right, anywhere. Does West Virginia need to prepare for a bad winter? It could be a pretty bad winter. It'll have below average temperatures and above average precipitation. So, um, summer in a nutshell equals east and south equals hot and humid, west hot and dry, middle bit tornado and rain. Jacob Thome. Hey man, we were talking about you earlier. Somebody asked about you. So we were talking about you because somebody brought up the guy that used to be in my live streams. So told them that you might get back into YouTube. What do I think about the QBO this year? Um, Trying to remember when I made my winter forecast, I was looking into it a lot more, but I don't really have an opinion on it. I know that it's one of the more important oscillations, though. It's one of my top four most important factors. So, um, let's see. Who do you think has the best shot of seeing a very snowy winter? I think New England. Humidity is oppressive, but then again, Arizona gets much hotter temp wise. Um, Arizona can have a higher temperature, but I always feel much cooler. Ooh, AccuWeather just released their winter forecast. Let's go check out the T real quick. Yeah, I mean, they might just be copying my forecast. 2018, 2019. Oh yeah, I saw this the other day. So it looks like they're calling for a much colder winter than last year. Looks like it. Also, Jacob, could we expect some YouTube videos from you in the near future? Just wondering. Um, all my fans are also fans of yours, so we're all weather enthusiasts. So I also would love to have you on live streams anytime, man. To throwback. Um, yeah, I don't know how I feel about this forecast because all of it's super broad terms, not very aggressive at all. They, yeah, like cold and mild periods, like obviously, like, and then cold shots, like, who's gonna say that? Who's gonna say that there wasn't cold shots in a winter or there wasn't mild periods? Like everywhere that experiences that type of thing, you know, you got to be a little more descriptive. Um, The return of an El Nino weather pattern will have a significant influence on the winter season. Mild air will linger in the Northeast and Mid Atlantic states before cold takes hold in January and February. Some Interstate 95 cities will notice a significant temperature dip compared to last year. Meanwhile, an active southern storm track will send snow and ice to parts of the southern plains this winter. El Nino to influence weather in the Northeast, Mid Atlantic, Great Lakes, Eastern Ohio Valley. Once again, El Nino will influence the winter. Oh my goodness, they've said El Nino like 5 times in the last couple of sentences there. The season will start out mild for much of the region before colder weather digs in its heels in this January and February. Again, pretty obvious because things get colder in January than they are in December, so they will not be wrong, most likely. Um, see what they say about the Northeast. That's what I most want to know. Oh, they don't say anything about the Northeast? Oh, here. I was reading it already. New York City and Philadelphia manned up with 4 to 8 degrees colder this February compared to last February. Mid Atlantic states, a few big snowstorms are likely. Most of the action will dodge the far Northeast, however. Don't know how I feel about that. They probably think that the storms won't get pulled up the entire East Coast. They think they'll just go out to sea south. So we'll have to see. That would bring more of a. That sounds more like 2009 to 2010, what they're calling for. Jacob Thome. Eventually, I have to write a script and get the data and edit the videos. So I'm trying to make a less wishcast like winter outlook. Yeah, man, the struggle. Um, yeah, you can't even disagree with this map. That's the problem I have with it. It's so broad that you can't disagree with it. Notice they never come out with a temperature outlook or a precipitation outlook because that's something that you could argue. Um, I do an overall map like this just because I like the way it looks and I feel it's more descriptive, but it won't be wrong unless you say colder than average, warmer than average, this, that, mild and dry for the Southwest. Well, I didn't expect it to be very rainy. You know what I mean? So, um, yeah, but winters though, Weather Channel is better than AccuWeather. Yeah, so Jim Nelson, the solar minimum is a normal cycle that happens approximately every 10 years, but what they're talking about for Ice Age is grand solar minimum, which is way different. You can check out my video on grand solar minimum if you want to. Yeah, very interesting to see a forecast from AccuWeather. Again, they won't put out a precipitation or temperature map. What is this? Oh, got a Facebook notification. Um, if there's any other forecasts you guys want me to review, let me know. Now that we're on this topic, it's kind of fun looking at other people's forecasts. As I'm going to go pretty soon. I'm preparing for the Patriots to play later. Who's taking the Colts, by the way, later? Because I want to take that bet. Because the Patriots are going to demolish them. Southeast Carolinas, please. Oh, maybe a chance for snow, but I mean, um, do you think that the year 2009, 2010, where storms would slam the East Coast and would not reach New England states, that may be the case once again this year? I don't see that happening, especially the amount and strength of snowstorms. Um, so I don't think it will be quite like 2009, 2010. I think AccuWeather is calling for that, though, from what it looks like. Jacob Thome, I wouldn't get in an argument about grand solar minimum with my viewers. Some people are crazy about that stuff, man. You want to be careful. you you can never win an argument about grand solar minimum. I've learned that the hard way. People are very set on there being an ice age in well, starting now. That's the crazy part. Um, you're doing so good today, just like always. Thank you, Whitney. Southeast North Carolina, we tend to always get snow February, March, but rest of winter until late January is nice. Yeah. I can't give you a snow percentage for Carolinas, unfortunately, the weather guys. It's too early. What exactly is grand solar minimum and how will it affect the winter? So if grand solar minimum happened, and it's debatable, it's not a proven science yet because we haven't had one in very recent history. But we people speculate that it would lead to a lot of winters like 2009, 2010, 1995, 1996, some of those colder winters, but back to back. So just like a lot of strung together winters like that, where we'll get a lot of colder winters. Not calling for quite an ice age, but colder winters would possibly become a lot more common, and not a lot of warmer winters. That's the most basic description I could give. Um, you guys are arguing about icy conditions. My favorite type of winter weather is when you get snow and then like an inch of ice over it because I feel like that stuff stays forever. Like when you get freezing rain on top of snow, we got like 8 inches of snow twice last year, and then it would freezing rain like an inch on top of it, and literally just like lock it in. It was crazy, and it was so slippery. Like you could fall and break your leg on that stuff. Um, do you think that the Weather Channel's forecast will differ from AccuWeather's? Yes, because they actually call for temperatures comparatively to normal and precipitation comparatively to normal, so it won't look like that. So if it's hotter somewhere, it's colder somewhere else, vice versa. Typically, at least the United States, there won't be just like cold across the entire United States. Typically, there will be a trough and ridge, most likely. I hope you get 10,000 subs. Me too, man. Me too. Have you gone over the Farmer's Almanac? No, I haven't. Old or new? That's the question. Old or new Farmer's Almanac? And to add to what Jacob Thome said, with negative AO and negative NAO, that would lead to the AO leads to colder winters in the continental United States because that would be warmer temperatures over the Arctic Circle. So it pushes the colder air away from it. So that would lead to more troughing. And then also NAO typically would lead to colder temperatures in the eastern United States. So those paired together are a deadly combo, the classic deadly combo. Oh no, the Ice Age people. Don't freak my viewers out, please. See ya, Jacob. Have a great day, man. Thanks for stopping by. You should do it more often, man. First off, the snow in New Zealand, um, it's they're not even on the same. Anyway, China, it's normal for snow this time of year. As for Africa, I don't even know what to say about that. It really probably won't be an ice age at all. It might not even happen. A lot of you seem very certain that it will, but it might not even happen. We don't know. It hasn't happened in recent history, like I said. So it's really a wait and see thing. Once we get closer, we'll know by the next cycle what's happening. The next two cycles, it'll be for sure. So, um, Michael Wilkinson, it all is hype. If somebody's calling for an ice age at this point, that is all hype. Well, Awake Human, you're calling for an ice age, and then you're just telling me that there's a little bit of snow in New Zealand, China, and Africa in October, which isn't too wild. So to call that an ice age is very extreme, and you can't really tell me that that means that we will have an ice age. That isn't even a sign at all that we'll have an ice age. Then if you know a lot about grand solar minimums, then you'll know that we aren't even in one yet. Because we're in a cycle right now. We're at the bottom of a cycle, so the cycles are still happening. So we're not at the peak of a grand solar minimum yet at all. Yeah, you're right. The shark. And I've been into weather since 2012. Like I said in earlier in this live stream, and a lot of times people are calling for ice ages. It's just something that always happens for some reason. We're descending into a minimum. Sure. Yeah, we are. We are. I think we're descending into a solar minimum, a grand solar minimum. So I'm not denying that. I just don't think it will be what an. I don't think it'll be an ice age. That's all. There's probably a lot you don't understand. Of course, there's a lot you don't understand either. It's a pretty broad term. A skewed science gave you those stats, Michael. Anybody could say that to any statistic, so it's really pointless. Awake human, don't lie to your views, bro. I don't know when I lied, so if you want to fill me in. Right. Awake human. You're right about that. I agree with you. Grand solar minimum is real. It has happened in the past, and we think that we're heading into one right now. And no one knows how bad it's going to get. I could agree with that statement. But you're saying there's going to be an ice age, so you're saying you do know how bad it is going to get by saying that statement. That's all I'm saying. So who's really lying? CC, I agree. Okay, a weak human. From this point on, there will be no cycles for at least 25 to 30 years. From right now, you're saying, let me pull this up real quick. So you're saying that this cycle is the last cycle. Think cycle 24. So you're saying from this point on, there will be no more. In this grand solar minimum, there was no cycles. So if we do hit one, there probably won't be cycles for a very prolonged period of time. But that's a pretty sharp cutoff from this big of a cycle to nothing. I think that there will be, you know, two more cycles after 24. I think we'll get to 26 and then it'll hit grand solar minimum. Yeah, Awake Human, you said no one knows how bad it'll be, and then you said there's going to be a mini ice age. So that kind of contradicts itself. That's cool. Creations collide. I'm jealous. P turtle, not mini. So you're saying a real. You're implying that this will be more than a mini ice age. See, I think it'll look something like this and then flatten out. I actually I take that back because I think that it's going to be sooner than 2050. I think that's a little bit late from everything I've seen. Is there an eye drop tool here? No, there's not. That's unfortunate. And then flattens out. Maybe a little bit of stuff going on, but and then out. But Yeah, I don't know if I can agree with the Ice Age predictions. Say I lie by not telling the truth. Mike, oh, I'm talking about previous storms. It's an educational video. Yeah, I agree. Say English. We don't even know. That's the thing. Like, I'm being very optimistic. I'm saying, look, this could be, could be an ice age, could be. I just really don't think so, and that's okay. But I'm not. But now we have people like Awake Human that are throwing it out there, like, oh, there's going to be a mini ice age, but we'll also go around saying, but anything could happen. So the El Nino is going to be weak. Thank you, Javen. Creations collide. It's just me right now. Yeah, I've never really thought about bringing somebody else on, but maybe the future. Maybe the future, this could be something much bigger than it is right now. I have good friends like Jacob Thome that I plan on featuring. So, you know, and maybe I'll meet a few new weather friends that really know a lot, but I'd have to trust them a lot to forecast correctly. Obviously, Singlish. Yeah, I definitely think it'll be a lot closer to mild summers and really cold winters. I think that's just what it's going to be. But when you pair them together, I mean, the ice could keep creeping in, creeping in, creeping in, and with radiational cooling, that's what would really cause an ice age. But yeah, so Wake Human, we will indeed see. I mean, as a weather enthusiast, I really think it would be interesting. It would switch things up, and it would be colder winters, and that'd be a lot more interesting. So as long as it's not dangerous, I mean, I hope it happens. Will you make like storm tracks and how they form and that kind of stuff? If you're talking about how I did on the Miller A video, um, then I plan on it, but I couldn't find any satellite imagery for Miller B storms, so it's gonna have to wait. Creations collide. Okay, how do you know all this meteorology stuff? Did you look it up, or did you take classes? It's really been a slow progress. Curiosity and weather really drove it, and that's really why I know so much, because I literally, you know, on my free time that I had, I was researching weather and stuff. That's what I did for fun. So it really just drove me to learn more. But yeah, tons and tons of books on meteorology, tons and tons of NOAA pages and Wikipedia pages, and learning about all the oscillations. But yeah, it's been about 8 years that I've been into weather, and I've been learning about it and trying to forecast for about 6 years. So yeah, we've had over 160 days so far this year with no sunspots. Yeah, so we're right in solar minimum. But I am hello, friend, my friend. A little late here, but I am gleaning. You feel like Joe Basardi about the colder period we are heading into. Um, I don't really. I haven't seen what he said. Oh wait, human. Not really. Did I describe the mini? No one knows what will happen. Right, you didn't describe it. You just said it would happen. What's your sub count? Oh yeah, pull that back up. 632. Is there any signal for nor'easters that you see coming? If you mean in the near future, no, there is no sign of them yet, except for troughs entering the eastern United States. That's when they really could get pulled up the coast. Long term, yes, the El Nino will likely bring the types of conditions. Dustin, solar minimum isn't for another year or 2 years. Yeah, it is. Because you see here, if you're speaking of grand solar minimum, then no, that won't just be a year or two. But solar minimums, are only about, as long as we're talking about the peak of solar minimums, it's only like this one, for instance, only looks to be about 3 winters long. The 2008 to 2009 winter, 2009 to 2010, 2010 to 2011, and then warmed back up again when we had the 2011 to 2012 winter, which was very, very, very warm. So you see, we very quickly exited solar minimum. But solar minimum is a cycle that's only lasts about 11 years from negative to negative. When will the next mini ice age be? I don't think there will be one. So for now, it's possible. I'm optimistic enough to say it's possible, or open-minded enough. You could do other storm tracks like Pineapple Express or Appalachian Runner, Colorado Low, and much more that I probably don't know, and you do. Um, no, I haven't made those yet. I'd like to. I just need to find the satellite imagery, and it would be really easy. Like your weather forecast for the winter. I agree almost entirely. Solar minimum and your take on grand solar minimum, not so much. Honestly, to me, it sounds like you're the type of person that just wants it to happen, which is okay. But I mean, I'm curious. What do you think it's going to lead to, and what do you think a solar minimum is? Because and why do you think that it lasts longer than 2 to 3 years when that's how long it lasts? Typically, the first nor'easter would be September, but we're running a little bit late with the ridging in the east. It's just impossible as of right now. Do you believe we will see a central based or east based El Nino, and how strong? A weak central based El Nino. Yeah, we are on a decline. That's because we're heading into grand solar minimum, I believe, like I said. In what ways will climate change in America over the next 40 to 60 years? It really just depends. If we see this grand solar minimum thing happen, we don't know for sure, but it looks like it will get colder. This is what Bastardi said. At the very least, I expect temperatures by 2030 to return to where they were in the late 70s, which was the end of last cold PDO phase. I agree completely. I think the late 70 winters, that's what I expect. That's what I expect grand solar minimum to bring to a lot of our winters. P turtle. Yeah, it we haven't had a solar minimum since or grand solar minimum since the Maunder minimum. So we haven't exited one since 1700, and this one will probably be similar. Looks like according to this, I don't know how accurate this is. Um, the surrounding cycles will be a lot lower in the transition, so it would be a slow transition in and slow transition out, according to this. Also, do you think hurricane season is majorly over? Yeah, I think that we're past the peak for sure. Dustin, I don't want it to happen. It's happening. Historically speaking, global temperatures correlate and reflect the number of sunspots if we're on a long-term declination. Yeah, you see, I agree. Yeah, I do. I agree. And it's you can't say it's for sure, man. It's probably gonna happen. Don't get me wrong, but interesting how you see winter weather seems to have a snow cycle after a snowy winter. Yeah, you usually have a super mild winter after a few snowy ones. So um, I'm based out of Virginia. Dustin, bro, if you're not sure about something, you shouldn't say it to your audience. Say you're not sure and that you need to do more research. You are clearly wrong about grand solar minimums. But that's the problem. You see, I've done research. I just feel that it's not definitive. And I've even heard from the people that did a lot of research that they've admitted that they don't even know what the effects will be. So I don't know how some guy on YouTube, Dustin, all of a sudden is knows more than the scientists who discovered the Maunder minimum and that there will be a modern minimum. You all of a sudden know more than they do. That's the problem that I have. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I'm saying the grand solar minimum is going to happen. I'm just saying there's probably not going to be an ice age because that takes a lot more than that. Most ice ages take, volcanoes to block out the sun and lots of other things like that. So I think that's a little bit extreme. Grand solar minimum is most likely happening. I'm a believer that it is happening, at least. So I don't know what the argument really is. It's just people picking fights. Yeah. I almost think that like there's three people in here that are the same person or friends or something. I might do a stream tomorrow. I'll have to see whether winter weather info. Thanks, the Cookie Monster. Ignorance kills. Ignore, ignore, ignore. You do a fantastic job. Thank you. Anyway, let's get off the topic of sunspots now that all those sunspot people left, I'm pretty sure. This is just a weather channel after all. I get a little bit heated about that because for months now I've been getting comments about sunspot activity and how all of a sudden it's a lot of people who clearly and I'm not talking about the people in this chat. I'm not talking about the people in this chat, but the comments that I've gotten before are clearly people that just don't even know what they're talking about, and they've seen one YouTube video about grand solar minimum, and all of a sudden they think that it's it's gonna be like Ice Age all of a sudden. And it's on my winter forecast for this year. Why would you tell me that when it's not even happening this year yet? I'm a perfectionist when it comes to my research. I like to know 100% of what I'm talking about or anything. I don't like to know like 50% or 70%. I like to perfect my knowledge of something. So I do obsess about, knowledge and everything as far as weather and cycles and oscillations go. It's a blessing and a curse. Yeah. And like in those arguments that we just had in this chat, like you've heard me. I said I think we're going into a grand solar minimum. And then they would say, I disagree. We're going into a grand solar minimum and we don't really know what that means. But I just said I think we're going into a grand solar minimum. So I don't really know what the argument is, and then they'll say something like, "Oh, but we're going into an ice age." It's the difference is that I am a YouTube channel with 8,639 subscribers, so I have a lot to lose and they have nothing to lose. So that's why they're talking like crazy people. And then I'm, trying to uh, make sure that I know what I'm talking about before I say it. CC, it's unfortunate that people who tend to skip their own research also tend to be the loudest. Keep doing you. I've really been enjoying this channel and the streams. Thank you, man. Thank you. My concho. I gotta delete that. I love that comment though. Oh man, that's funny. I just don't know how old everybody is. Do you think there's a good chance that we stay warm right through November with cold air bottled up? And I get that it's not as strong on Nino like 2015 to 2016, but it still might play a role to when it gets cold. No, I think that we're definitely going to get cold here in the second half of October, but we're definitely gonna. I think it's possible that it warms back up after we start November, and then it might get warm for a while. So I think that's certainly possible. I'm of the belief that El Nino and Enso doesn't really affect temperatures as much as it affects precipitation. So we'll just have to see. Um, well, I'm 14, so I'm pretty young compared to you. Yeah. They say it's going to rain here in Fort Worth, Texas this weekend. Is that true? Let's see here. That is a great age to start getting into science. I agree. As the 18Z GFS is coming out. This weekend for Fort Worth. Yeah, I think you're gonna get it could rain, yeah, for sure. What is more accurate, GFS or GEFS or GEPS? So it depends what you're asking. So for long-term temperature forecast, the GEFS is the most trusted out of what you just mentioned. This model will be generally right and pretty darn accurate. Now, for shorter term, I would go GFS for shorter term, and then you eventually find a mesoscale model that you like for very short term. Are chilly rains possible in South Florida this winter? We got a few of those last winter, and I loved it. Um, it's possible. Um, warming in November is just both are possible, warming or cooling. I mean, right now the CFS is showing warming as we enter into November, so I'm just going based off of that for now, as we're too far out. As far as the cooling, though, you can see it in the ensemble models already that it's going to cool off by the 15th. So that's why I'm calling for that. I don't like the GFS personally. If you listed in it to the GFS for Hurricane Florence, it was all over the place. Yeah, but a hurricane's way different. How long do you spend doing this research? It depends what for. Nowadays, I spend probably like 5 hours of my day doing weather things. There was a bucket of old rainwater filled with mosquito larvae. I had to dump it out. Dang. Yeah. CC highs. In the lower, you just gotta find your area, obviously, but. Um, all we know is that the last grand solar minimum that a large volcano erupted before it. That's all I've heard. I'd have to do more research on that for sure, but an ice storm is usually caused by below average temperatures right at the surface with or below freezing temperatures right at the surface and above freezing temperatures above that, so it rains and then freezes on contact. I hate when it does this. It does this sometimes where it messes up. Yeah, very cold night that night. Yeah, that could have been coincidence, that eruption. Yeah. Is it like sleet or hail? No, it freezes on the surface. So it falls as rain and then it's a liquid, and then that piece of liquid on the ground, that drop of rain freezes. Simple Sandman, yes, potentially. But it's not a proven science. So we don't really know. Yes, P Turtle, that's correct. I mean, it is weird that a volcano went off right before. I find that to be very strange. So I think it's possible that there's a connection. I'm a believer that it's possible. See, now there, if I'm not even gonna get into it actually. I'm actually not gonna get into it. 56. For a low, yeah, that is quite chilly. If you look at the anomaly here, you see below average. Not too below average, but maybe Ricky Aldridge. That could be something. P Turtle. That sentence is like impossible to read, man. Also, what does heated and cooled matter do? Expand and contract. Earth does too. I mean that bars. P Turtle. Volcanoes are just Earth zits. I could see that. I could see that. That's an interesting perspective, but yes, it makes sense. Have you spoken about Deep East Texas fall winter yet? If you check out my winter fall forecast and winter forecast, then um, you would be able to see that. Yes, there could be a hurricane developing in the Gulf of Mexico soon. Jim Nelson, I don't know the answer to that question actually. A weak El Nino can make winter colder sometimes. Yes, that's true. Yeah, Jacob, I would agree. Welcome back, by the way. Actually, Jacob. I'm gonna make you a moderator because you're my friend. So if you see any comments you don't like, you can delete them. I think that should last like through multiple live streams too, which is cool. Uh, Eric, the Slee stack. Do you have any predictions for Europe's winter this year? No, I don't have enough knowledge about European weather. From Florida here, when will fall actually get here? I don't know. Does fall even arrive in Florida? It depends where you're at, though. Would you happen to know the track of it right now, or is it too soon? It's way too soon. I disagree. Weather patterns are changing. Yeah, weather patterns are always changing. Hawaii should be warmest. I, hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Definitely Alaska's coldest, though. Can your fan earn moderators like other YouTubers do? I don't know what that means. Tampa. Whenever your normal fall arrives, that's when it should arrive. Hawaii tends to stick around the 80s. Florida can run hotter. Yeah, Jacob Thumb's right. I was just answering a comment this morning about that. Somebody asked how the Western European winter would be. So that's the only answer I know. I'm so used to just doing United States. Javen, Chase, I know you're talking about my fans slash subscribers, but what are you implying? Earn, monetize or earn moderators. Martin Armstrong has a lot of historical data on a positive correlation of climate change and volcanoes. Like, I don't really like being too much on the topic of these solar cycle things because I'm not a like solar cycle expert, you know. I've been into weather for 6 years now, but that's it. I have not, I've always known that when you're in the lower portion of a solar cycle, that means usually colder conditions. That's all I know. I've done more research when I made my grand solar minimum video. That's when I really like did all the research on it. But and I'm a believer, like I said, that we're going into a grand solar minimum. But just from what I heard on all the research and everything, but How does the tsunami from Japan earthquake reach all the way to California? That's a long way because it was big. Cooling degree day and warming degree days? I don't know. Um, I just want hurricane season over already. Spent 13 days without power after Irma last year in this heat. Not fun. That does not sound fun. Yeah, Javen, you are now a moderator. I don't know what power that gives you, but does the general public see the blue name? Like, do they know that you're a moderator, or are you just a moderator? That's what I'm curious about. Also CC and Mihi of you, I'm gonna make you guys too because I've seen you guys in a lot of the live streams. I guess probably I'll just do like all the regulars. You guys can be moderators. Um, let's see. As I get through all the comments. Sorry, I'm really quiet today, guys, and really boring. I have a bad headache for some reason today, so I've been trying to battle that and stay focused. P Turtle, they get a wrench and a blue name. That's so cool. So like, if you're not in a stream for a long time, like I'll always just remember you because you have a blue name. So I'll remember the time I gave you moderator status. P Turtle, I do like having you in the stream though, and you guys that really believe in uh the the solar cycle things because I think it adds an interesting dimension to the conversation. So I don't want you to think like I don't want you here. I just get a little heated because of like the past comments that I've gotten. Silver Ghost, yeah, you'll be the last one for today. If I make too many people moderators, it would probably get really overwhelming. So um my data for my predictions, I have like a whole process that is a work in progress that always changes, but it's kind of a combination of everything. I'm a big believer in oscillations and sunspot activity being the biggest influencers, but history is the most important thing to me. Just knowing what those oscillations have done in the past. Jacob Thome, I know the headache feel. Yeah. I usually don't get one. It's just today's been a day. Um, I don't ban, but I'll delete comments if they are filled with bad stuff like profanity or stalking or something. Yeah, that's a good call. The sun controls our weather no matter who doesn't believe it. Sun don't care. Well, yeah, it'd be pretty cold without the sun. So I've definitely always been a believer. Like when somebody says the sun controls most of like or the sun is like controls almost all of it. That's very true. This channel has the most moderators. How many moderators do normal people have? Believe it or not, I've never had a headache, not once. That's crazy, man. You must have never met my ex. Yeah, CC. I like when people add to the conversation. Yeah, Jacob. What people like, I think people that put too much stock into what the sun does, like, yeah, it makes the earth warmer, but we still have our cycles of, cold and warm, where in the winter it's cold, in the summer it's warm, and troughs and ridges. Like, when people hear solar minimum, they think all of a sudden there's gonna be no ridges and it's just gonna be like everywhere's a constant trough, and it's just insane. I think that El Nino will transition back to La Nina like in '09 and 2010, 2011. I've been thinking that it's possible, but I think a neutral winter for next year as far as IMSO. But this far out, it's always just so different. How many nor'easters will Delaware get this winter? Can't really put a number on that, but above average amount. They have 3 to 4 moderators. Well, I guess this is it then. This is my final moderator group, I guess. As long as you guys stay active in the live streams. I'll have to get new guys if you guys aren't in the live streams in the future. You are very thorough and informative. Thank you. I appreciate the kind words. Big channels have good handful of mods usually. Yeah. Right now I don't really need mods. It's just, it's more of for the title right now, for sure. Yeah, I look forward to these live streams every day. Thank you, man. It means a lot. I look forward to doing them for you guys. Just being able to like talk to a ton of people about weather is so fun. To spark some conversation, Colts or Patriots, who you guys got? I need everybody to give their opinion, and I'll tally up the votes. Then I'll give my opinion at the end. What's your favorite type of precipitation? Mine is snow and sleet. I agree. Sir, if you have a bad headache, please drink some water or some coffee. Yeah, I drink a lot of water. I'm a big believer in that. Constantly drinking water. Too much almost. Eric Webb on Twitter thinks that there's a possibility of a strong Nino by 2020, not as strong as 15 to 16 or 1997 to 98, but pretty strong. Yeah, I'd agree. Again, I think neutral Enso next year, and then beyond that, I think that's when the La Nina will hit. I've never seen snow, sadly. That is depressing. Do you think there will be mostly snow for Delaware? I can't say. I don't think so. I think you'll have a lot of rain too, just like every winter. Oh yeah, I'll be here every time you're on, man. I watch your videos daily. Thank you. I'll be missing part of next week. Work with travel 14 to 16 hours days incoming. Yeah. Wow. I'm doing my research right now on when the two recent worst eruptions occurred with volcanoes. Only one happened during an important part of the cycle. 1997 to 1980 was Mount St. Helens. I'll tell you when I need to take a sick day. LOL. Patriots all the way. Patriots, duh. Pats because of Gordon. Hot take. Tom Brady. I don't watch sports. Old man, still the best Pats. What about the Eagles? I can definitely try to donate to you early next year. No, man, don't do that. Yeah, I think Patriots. I'm a Patriot fan though, so yeah, kind of biased. I thought they were going to be bad this season, honestly, like even before the season, but yeah, they stepped it up last week for sure. And Jacob, yeah, Gordon, dude, that guy was playing so good, Josh Gordon. And with Edelman coming back this week, I think it's all going to mesh together. I mean, I'm thinking a classic Patriots win, like, 30 to 40 to like maybe the Colts scoring in the teens or 20s. So something like that. What do you normally report on? Well, I've just started becoming more active on YouTube. So I'd say, um, I plan on, I think winter will be most active for me. That's what the weather that excites me the most. So a lot of snowstorms I'll be forecasting, but yeah, beyond that, we'll have to see. So how is Michigan looking for this winter? Any updates? Lots of snow this year? Question mark. I think average amount of snow, unless you're in the lake effect areas, then you'll have above average, but below average temperatures. Whoa, someone deleted those two. I don't know what they were. I wish there was like a button where I could like view the comment. What do you think North Carolina is going to be like during winter? Um, I think below average temperatures with above average snowfall. Colts, Pamela Gasper. Interesting. Yeah, I find it comfy too when it's like, um, but I mean, it gets depressing sometimes. They retracted. User can do that. I didn't do that. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Daylight savings sucks sometimes. Yeah. Um, Severe weather next week with a strong low pressure centered in the northwest. You mean like severe thunderstorms? I'm assuming. You said it might be too late in the week to forecast if there will be severe weather or not, but yeah, it's can't go far out enough, but unless you're talking about this, in which case I think yes. I was talking about that earlier. Can't wait for when you track the snowstorms. I can't wait either. Do you think Delaware could get a nor'easter for Christmas? Can't really put a timetable on that. It could happen, obviously, but it can happen anytime in between like the October 20th and May. So yeah, there should be a lot of snow. Silver Ghost. I found it very comfy when it's cold and snowy or cloudy. Yeah, I agree. But when it's like dark outside at like 5 p.m., it's a little depressing. All Colts and Patriots fans are forgiven. Dallas Cowboys fan here. Do you think Hurricane Leslie will go out to sea or loop back around and head for the East Coast? I really don't think it's going to do that. I think that it's going to go out to sea. Every time there's a hurricane in the Atlantic, people are like, is it going to loop around? But yeah, last I checked, for sure. Um, yeah. Yeah, it looks for sure like it's going out to sea. Big time. Looks like there's one ensemble member that wants to take it towards like um British Columbia, but yeah, doubtful. Doubtful to say the least. Jim Nelson, hey, Direct Weather, could you maybe upload a little tutorial on how to use Tropical Tidbit sometime? I'd love to learn how to use it properly. Maybe I'll do a live stream on that tomorrow. Maybe that's what the live stream tomorrow could be about, like how to use weather models on Tropical Tidbits or something. I don't mind it being dark at 5 p.m. or early. I got headlights on my vehicle and ATVs. Wow. So at 11 a.m., for some reason it did this like sharp, like it didn't load in all the subscribers right away, but I had 8,313, and at 6 p.m. I have 8,677 subscribers. So I just want to thank all of you. Where are you from? I'm from Virginia. Yeah, the live stream sounds good. I'm glad. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. I do live streams like this as well as monthly and seasonal forecasts and other forecasts for storms. If you're interested in weather content like that, I'd highly recommend it. I haven't plugged for my channel in like an hour in this live stream, if you guys haven't noticed. Do you have a snow map for this year's winter? Not like a snow map, but I guess I had comparatively normal. Second forecast. Peep at this La Nina next winter. Ooh. I was gonna make that video, but then I was like, no, it's probably gonna be neutral. That was a few days ago. Where's the second winter forecast? Okay. Yeah, of course, going from a El Nino or La Nina to El Nino will affect the southern branch a lot. Here's my snowfall comparatively to normal. If you want to see more, check out my whole winter forecast on my YouTube channel. But this is my thoughts, and my analog year is 2014 to 15. So you can see this. It's where I think there will be above average snowfall. This is what we should do. Wait, moderators, all of you moderators, if you're still here, what state are you guys from? I want to get one from like every state. That's my new goal in life. The winter forecast just got updated. When was it? Maybe 5 days ago. Silver Ghost is from Michigan. Media View, Pennsylvania. Javin Chase, North Carolina, and Jacob Thome from North Carolina. So we have 2 North Carolinas. Don't need that many mods. True. It'd be so crazy. If I had that many moderators, it would just be like all blue. Everybody would be moderators. It'd be a bunch of moderators and me talking. And all like new viewers would be like freaked out, so they just leave the stream. They'd be like, what are all these moderators doing? Just like talking to each other. That'd be hilarious though. A moderator is just somebody who has the power to delete comments and stuff like that. They have like privileges to kind of moderate the comment section, if you will. Do you moderators, will you have like the power to delete comments on my videos too? Just curious. That'd be cool. I actually want that to be the case. To like delete comments and stuff. Because I think my winter forecast, yeah, puts you in timeout. That's the funniest feature in my opinion. It's like, nope, now you can't talk for a couple hours. Or a couple minutes. I don't know how long it is actually. But yeah, my videos get like my winter forecast so far as 400 comments, so it's a lot to go through. See ya, Fox Kemp. Yeah, I'll look real quick on my YouTube if you guys do have that power. I know there was a feature. Let's see. I'll have to see where I can do that from, but maybe like settings. I want to do it for my phone, but yeah, I can't do it from here. Maybe I'll just do it on my computer. I don't care if you guys have to watch. I mean, at this point, it's just a bunch of us talking, so. Yeah, remove. There was something I was looking at. I want to say just like this morning. Um, yeah, somewhere in here maybe. I'm really flattered that 44 people want to watch me make people moderators. Community maybe. Me, a view, that doesn't matter. I'm not gonna like remove somebody from being a moderator. You see, this is what I'm talking about, guys. See, yes, finally, Ice Age, the time has come. Like, what? What? Uh, okay. Yeah, so here's my moderators. These users can remove comments, which will appear in your held for review page, and can also moderate your live stream chat messages. So you guys should have the power to delete comments on my videos too. So if you delete a comment, it'll come here. So you guys ever see something like, a hate comment or anything, for some reason, I'm not saying you have to, but if you're on my video and you see one, you can go ahead and delete it for me. If you know I would want to delete it. Yeah. So we'll have to see. Yeah, you have to put him in timeout. But yeah, right now I'm happy with my moderator crew. You guys seem to be my most active commenters over the last 5 or 10 live streams. So I think you guys are more capable than anybody else right now. So, yeah, just make everybody a moderator without them even asking. Like somebody's just like, "Hey, I'm a new subscriber." Oh, moderated. 2018 tornadoes lowest in 65 years of record keeping per NOAA. Yeah. By the way, if somebody's reviewing this after it's uploaded to YouTube, I apologize that you've sat through this for however long it's been. Like maybe 3 hours. That's just ridiculous. Hmm. California, and you're from Connecticut. That's pretty similar weather, huh? Just kidding, of course. Very different. Let's see some of these comments, guys. I like to keep them up just for people that didn't get to catch it. Yeah, true. Maybe I shouldn't re-upload this one. I'd like to do 3:30 or 4 Eastern time. That's what I've been doing. Seems to be work. I don't know if people would prefer it later, but yeah. So I don't know if you guys would prefer later. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought that'd be a good time for everybody. Wow, that's interesting. Just letting you know, your colors used in the above average and below average scale are almost indistinguishable for all us colorblind people. And it got 6 likes. So that's how many colorblind people were watching. Now I feel bad. I'm thinking about it, Master Chief. Yeah, I would never do it before 3. Wow, you are, Jacob? Maybe you could be my colorblind moderator to help me make sure that my colors all are visible. Yeah, that's true. There is a ton. But 6 people have a type where they couldn't see. Like, let's just. All right, hello, that's guys. Gonna be loud. Can all of you see this? I thought that like since I went darker, it's not a different color. It's just darker shades. So I thought that that would be visible for pretty much everybody. But maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I might have to order a pizza for the game. Yeah, so I wonder what type like is it even possible for me to like make one that like every type of colorblind person could see? 'Cause I don't think that's even possible. Oh, it's still playing. Have you been to Delaware? That was the first I drove through Delaware. That was like my first time driving. I drove all the way through the entire state. Grayscale, but that's boring. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I can't worry about it too much. Yeah. Have to use steeper contrasts of colors. Yeah. I really liked the thing that sucks is I really like this color table. It's pretty suburban. It felt like Delaware, kind of like empty. Is there a chance for more snow instead of rain and sleet here in Southern Maryland this winter? Or for you to my above comment to help answer my question? Are you telling me? Oh. Yeah, I don't think you'll get more rain than snow. It's just that doesn't happen. You will, yeah. I agree with Jacob though. You will have more snow than normal, but it won't. There will still be probably more rain and sleet than snow, and more rain than sleet and snow for that matter. Even that's just how it goes. But more snow than average. And last year was really a dud for you guys. So do you expect Washington D.C. to have area to have record snow and cold? I wouldn't say record snow and cold. Like it won't be 2009 and 2010. I don't think. But you're it's going to be an above average year for you guys as far as snow goes, and comparatively to last year, I mean, you're going to notice the difference big time. I mean, I think you're in it for a very good year. The below average is temperature, um, so you're in the dark blue. No, Daniel, you're all right. Yeah, it'll be frigid, I think. The Shark, Jacksonville, Florida, around December 26th. Will it be cold? Shall I bring jackets? I don't know. Depends what's cold to you. The, yeah, so the dark blue means below average temperatures. I don't know, DJ 911041. Last year, earlier this year, had more than average snowstorms. Yeah. New England, again, had a good year, but most places didn't. So, south of the Mid Atlantic did too. Like my area had a good year last year. It was a weird year last year. Please read this. Wouldn't a rare pineapple connection from this winter form this winter hitting northwestern Oregon? No, I think there will be below average precipitation in Oregon. Um, Illinois weather guy. I think that's what that stands for. What's your ideas specifically for St. Louis and southwestern Illinois? Hearing lots of thoughts of warm and dry from most, and the current pattern seems to favor this going forward. I think that there will be below average temperatures, and average precipitation. All the cold is piled up in Canada right now and portions of Montana, Wyoming, and North Dakota. But we see a lot of falls like this, and then it pours down in the winter where this cold and snowpack has been building up, and this just leads to very cold temperatures. And then it really just depends what the PNA and the NAO are like, whether it's going to be cold in the east or west, and as well as a few other things. What is causing the heat to stay in the south this fall? It's a high pressure system that's blocking the cold air from even approaching at all. Southeast ridge is what we call it. Most of our snow was a couple inches at a time. Then at the end, we got hammered. Do you think northwestern Oregon will get any snow in the valleys? I don't know. Maybe. How uh, will Moscow, Idaho weather be? I don't know what you're asking. Like when? Delaware had a small amount of snowstorms and a little snow with them last winter. Yeah. Will Southern California get any rain? Um, I think you'll get an average amount in Southern California. What about snowfall? Been sad with less than 5 inches of snow annually, with a couple year not even reaching two. Yeah, so if we look at my snowfall forecast, I'm calling for slightly above average snowfall in that area. Why don't they name summer storms? They only name snowstorms and hurricanes, and it used to only be tropical storms and hurricanes, but now they added snowstorms. Um, so I don't really know. Question is, why do they name storms? 20 degrees and below zero temps for this winter around December. It's interesting. Do you trust AccuWeather that far out though? I have to leave chat since you're too busy to answer my questions. Really need answers for Connecticut. Kat, what did you ask for Connecticut? Real quick. How do you make these great maps? I built this map. Well, okay. So first off, I bought the map from a website, and then I edited it a lot and made it my own kind of. If you're asking about like the actual map, if you're asking about what I put over it, I use Photoshop. Illinois weather guy. No, I don't know why that's there. I actually have watched that YouTuber before though, so I think it's recommended because I watch his other videos. But I actually have kind of a beard, so I don't really want a thick one. Only meteorologist I trust at AccuWeather is Bernie Rayon. I love his streams before snowstorms, unbiased and very informative. Yeah, I agree. You told me this like at 2015, 2016 winter, I think. Um, I don't know. You think Michigan will see any blizzards this year? That's a good question. I think in this maybe in December, when the troughs are trying to transition, it's possible, but I can't really forecast for that to happen. Here in northern Georgia, we have a lot of backdoor cold fronts. with the cold air damming up against the Appalachians in northeast Georgia, especially with the setup this year, lows coming out of the Gulf. I always say AccuWeather isn't as good as in the wintertime. It's great for minute casting and stuff like that, but AccuWeather is better in the summer, though. I'm flying back in March. Worried I will get stuck via travel. Yeah, I think it's going to be a cold and snowy winter, so uh, I would just beforehand, look at the forecast. Maybe I will have a video about it so you can come back. Who knows? Central Delaware didn't get much. I think we had 7 inches at most. Really? At least you got more than DC. LOL. DC usually gets more snow than Delaware, too. Mom tells me more than average storms last few years. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Especially last year. Yeah. Oh, no, weather guy. Ooh, good question, Master Chief. I know this is a far-fetched question, but what type of nor'easter do you think we will see most of? Oh, that's such a tough question. I think that is like something you'd have to now cast. Silver Ghost, I'm gonna get off soon, so I probably won't be on anymore. But yeah, see you tomorrow, hopefully. Uh, what type of El Nino will we have most of? Oh, it's such a tough question. I think, well, going based off of my temperature forecast and well, my precipitation forecast mostly. Miller A, I think, but Miller B in the weaker troughs uh, could be likely too, or at least when they're transitioning and just going deep. It really just depends on timing and like how strong the trough is. What month will we have the most nor'easter? It can be any month. I think January or February, though. Do you remember Winter Storm Octavia or Ramus? I don't remember honestly, like any named storms like that, like by name. I guess like what was the one? Uh, Nemo. I remember like Nemo and stuff, but that's it. I'll be back on tomorrow for your stream. See ya, bro. See ya, man. A lot of times in this setup, you see the Miller A's. Yeah. Best two winter storms of 2014 to 2015. Oh, yeah. Is the difference between Millers just where they come from? Yeah, I was having a discussion. I think me and Jacob actually, yes, was it yesterday? Yeah, on what actually defines it. But what I've always heard is that Miller Bees start as Alberta Clippers, and I'll show you what that is. So, oh, that's as big as I can go. Okay. So they would kind of track like this and start as an Alberta Clipper, and then go out off the coast, and then kind of uh, twirl around here, and then go out to sea eventually. Areas mostly affected are typically going to be these areas, New England and Northeast. Usually you get more of rain or mixed precipitation. Uh, South of the track, usually, or half the time, you also have a Miller A also involved, and they kind of converge right here. And then this is the area where we've heard bombogenesis in the past. But yeah, and then a Miller A, just in case somebody was wondering. A lot of times you see them start somewhere along this line, and then they make their way into the Gulf, pick up a lot of strength, and then head up the coast. And these can either, depending on how cold it is, affect just New England again, or sometimes in special occasions, even portions very, very far south, very, very far east, so very untypical. We've even seen snow in areas like Florida before, um, where it'll be the whole East Coast like this. This is like the biggest weenie storm ever, though, when this happens. So would never forecast for that to happen. But yeah, Miller B is typically something like this, forming somewhere up here in these areas. Mostly Canada, though, Alberta. Thank you for everything. All stay warm and dry. See ya, cat. What was the date of Winter Storm Jonas? Any chance we see anything comparable to 1993? Probably not. Idaho, I expect drier conditions with a slightly above average um, temperature. Ricky Aldridge. The chance of that any year is probably 1 in 200. That storm was very strong and pretty rare. Yeah, yeah. So nothing comparable. Yeah, I got like 5 feet of snow that winter. Yeah, it was January pretty early. In northern Georgia. Yeah, in northern Georgia, um, these systems come from Alberta, and they, I'll put a range on it. They can, well, that's a bit far. They can range. They'll be in between these two usually. I've seen them even go like that, but that's pretty far north. Sometimes they go across like northern Pennsylvania, but for the most part, they're usually somewhere in the middle of this and go up the coast. They can always go out to sea too. Don't forget, they can always just like go like this and keep going. It's always disappointing when that happens because it's a waste of a really strong storm a lot of the time, or potential for a huge snowstorm. But it is what it is. Miller A's can go out to sea too. Everything can. Was it 1993 or 1995 or something like that? Was a big ice storm and snowstorm in VA. I was badly injured down in eastern VA and it was a massive ice storm. I barely remember it, but was told it was terrible. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, yeah, it was. I think it's official. This is my longest live stream ever, probably. If anybody has any last minute comments as we're kind of winding down. Um, Jim, I can give you information on what those oscillations are. I can't give you a complete forecast um, for what they will do, though. But if you want me to break down what they are. Thank you, Francis. I hope you subscribed. I do these daily. Happy to have you. See a mihi of you. All right, so PDO. A positive PDO would be positive in these regions, and then a little bit negative in this little blob right here. Oops, right here. Do we look for this typical horseshoe of above average temperatures or below average? So the opposite would be below average in the horseshoe and above average inside of the fill in this hole right here. Now, what this would lead to would be the troughing typically in these areas. Well, that's a bit far south, but troughing and then kind of ridging over the eastern United States, something like that. Now, the opposite would obviously be ridging in these regions and then troughing in the east. That's how the PDO works. Now, the Arctic oscillation is the entire Arctic Circle. If there's above average temperatures and there's a negative AO, so you have this positive temperatures and also high pressure up here that pushes all the cold south, forces the cold south further into the United States and Canada. Also, portions of Europe and also Russia, Mongolia, Kazakhstan, all those areas. So this is a negative AO. The opposite is a positive AO where these areas are really cold and it's just blocking the cold air from leaving these areas. It's all staying in here with the low pressure. So it doesn't want to leave. So therefore, there won't really be any troughs or ridges. It'd be more of a flat jet stream. Also, this goes hand in hand with the positive NAO when you get the also Greenland blocking in these areas, which is warmer temperatures in that blue area. I know that's confusing. But when you get that paired with a positive AO and preferably a a positive PNA slash PDO, so these areas are all positive. You get like really big ridge, really big trough, and then this inverted look that goes over this. And that just brings super frigid temperatures down into the eastern United States. So that's the most favorable conditions you could expect as far as the oscillations. If everything looked perfectly. Hope that cleared up a lot or answered your question at least. All I want is 4 winter storms and cold a lot. Yeah, that a lot of people do. Anyway, I hope that answered your question. I'm gonna go ahead and head out now because it's been such a long live stream, guys. Like, let's be real. The game's starting in like an hour and a half, so I'm gonna get ready. Detroit will get a above average amount of snow with below average temperatures. So I'll see everybody. I'll be streaming around 4 p.m. tomorrow, hopefully. So make sure to tune in. Actually, you know what? I'm busy tomorrow. I'm sorry to tell you guys. I just remembered I'm going to be doing something all day tomorrow. So I might have to take one day off, unfortunately. Why did I say that? I'm so sorry. I've been talking about like a live stream tomorrow this whole time. And I'm going to be busy the whole day. So hope that wasn't too disappointing for you guys, though. So don't expect the live stream tomorrow at all. Thank you, CC. But hopefully Saturday I'll do a live stream for sure. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Have a great day or rest of your night, and go Patriots.